a lot of ways for them to deal continuous long damage.
Two underdogs of SPS Challenge Finals, the lone representative of Myanmar up against the second-tier team, the only second-tier team who made it so far through this tournament. It's EVHL versus FCON Esports. Whoa! That's the first time we saw it.
All right, it's looking kind of cool, kind of clean with it. Let's see how this plays out, man. There's going to be a lot of aggression in the mid lane, as always. Kyrie himself mentioned that right now, the trio mid lane and the EXP has a way harder job, especially talking about the synergy and the mid-game control. The gold laner is equally as important, but that's far, far later. So especially with the roamers, especially with Key in the picture here, El Momento was his nickname. FCON Esports has to be careful because they rely a lot on those big team fight moments. But with Key in the picture, he might be looking for the exact same thing.
Yeah, Key, I don't think it's going to be an easy game, at least in the first few minutes, just because of the Hylas's presence. But players' emblem, Sarashi, what's happening?
Well, tenacity for Depazet on the Vexana, I think it's a wise move up against a Hayabusa. But for Kid X, it's all about tankiness, man. Tenacity and the firmness as well. I think that a lot of them just knows what they really want to get out of the heroes. But looking at Reggie, though, he is going with the Wilderness Blessing agility. So it's not about laning for him at all. And technically, against the Bellaric, the lane isn't exactly forced on you. If you engage the Bellaric, he can do damage to you. But if you just clear the wave and get out, Bellaric can't really do much to kind of force you into the engagement. So prioritizing movement speed might be the way to go. So expect him to be roaming a lot all the way from the early stages of the game.
Well, speaking of roam stacks, he's already having an eye. Oh, never mind. He actually opted to go for the gold crab, just setting up, maybe stacking up his EXP and gold before the turtle fight even begins. But Arashi, like, if Keith does not get the level 4 fast enough, do you think EVA should just concede this one?
I think they might at this point, especially because I think their idea is to kind of get the Hayabusa, get him stuck with the implosion. Without that in play, you can see the Royal Milk just stopping everyone. Way too tanky. Again, this hero does so much when he can put himself between you and something that you want.
Yeah, and good damage control too from EVO's holding Albert. Opted to go for a orange buff still towards Dax, so a lot less damage that can be put out by this hero. Iki getting good chuffed on towards the turret there, but yeah, that's it. Albert though, back to Frank Beast just to shoot Dax away and try to take his own orange buff. Let's see if they want to, or FCON Esports wants to contest this one.
Well, Dax is definitely getting the farm advantage here. He's been able to find ways to go into the jungle of EVO's Holy and try and find a bit more. Ooh, PX7 though! Very ambitious play there with the IMU implosion. Fortunately for Erlan, he's able to actually get out of it.
And a lot of utility ultimate here to take for PX7, and especially with the Brave Smite too, he can be in the teamfight longer than everyone else, Arashi. Look at the levels though. Dax leading the charge with 7 compared to Albert 6.
Yeah, it's all about farming. It's all about the level advantage. And Albert hasn't really been able to kind of match it so far. But that's because of the other lanes as well. But look at Key. Slowly but surely getting withered down. But FCON Esports are really respecting the potential. Whenever they don't see some of the members on the map, I think they're doing a really good job respecting potential traps set up by EVO's Holy.
And same goes for Key too, in a way. A lot more easy with the bus checks. He's a bit more doesn't want to overextend, especially with how much damage that FCON Esports can put out in this early game with the Hylos and also the Valentina camping the bus. So far, it has been really quiet. 4 minutes and no kills whatsoever. Not even a team fight.
I think for now, EVO's Holy are the ones that aren't really fighting. You can see them conceding ground to FCON Esports if FCON Esports really pushes the issue and trying to force them to make a hard choice. And for now, especially with the 2 Purifies still available for PX7, I think there's not a lot of ways for Key to make the big play, but there he goes.
Explosion on towards PX7. Purify is out. Look at that, Hyla's gonna get pounced on. Glorious pathway to kind of counter it out. Erlan and Albert will just back away Key. Forces to use the flicker to get away. Reiki taking a lot of damage from the Ogi Shadow kill, and that's a good one from FCON Esports. You might want to take this one with Key so low in HP. Reiki though, still trying to get in with the Fist Crack on towards 2, but not much damage can be put out. Revitalize by Royal Milk, and that's gonna be it. A good W in the objective fight for Falcon Esports.
This is the sustain, man. The built-in sustain of the Hylas and Belleric, and on top of that, 2 revitalizes. You can see that all 4 played a huge part in both teams colliding twice there, but during the second engagement, EVO's Holy no longer have the HP bars and the resources to keep fighting, to stick there in the neutral objective, and Falcon Esports are completely abusing it. And they should be in this early game, because the longer this goes, the more ways EVO's Holy has to maybe catch one of the members of Falcon Esports off guard, where the Revitalize won't really be that big of a game-changing tool.
Gotta take a look at the items here, Rashi. A lot of emphasis towards magic defense. Even Albert building top boots instead of the magic penetration boot.
I think you're concerned about the crowd control potential coming in from Falcon Esports. They have a lot of short duration crowd control tools. They won't really ruin the team fight for you, but considering the amount available, the Terrify, the Law and Order, the taunts coming in from the Belleric, there's just so much to think about. It's better to have a bit more of a precaution there for Albert, but ooh, look at that.
Oh, 2 team fights happening at the same time. Royal Milk gonna get doped. 1 by 2 members. Not really the greatest target there, Albert. And in the mid lane, no casualties yet. PX7, half HP, but he's just gonna back away and recall. 6 minutes and zilch at the kill department.
I believe Royal Milk actually rushed the Athenas, and that's a very smart itemization tool. Knowing that they're relying on abusing the sustain levels on their team, as long as they don't fall immediately to the initial burst damage, they'll be able to heal back up. So the Athena, in a way, gives more value than a Radiant Armor or an Oracle that takes a bit more time to ramp up compared to the instant damage reduction coming through from that Athena.
So far, if this goes on like this until a 10-minute mark, Rashi, who do you think is gonna benefit from this situation? Oh, meanwhile, Doki forced to use the flicker before the turtle fight, so that's a huge advantage that Falcon Esports can use at this point. Royal Milk and Reggie once again. Reggie is just trying to bypass this 3-man, leave this man alone. Albert though, weaving through the defense, trying to get something out of that one. Electrifying beats, getting popped on. Benny very, very low. Look at that. Oh, implosion! And also the drag by Key. And finally the first kill on towards Albert and Key. Falcon Esports just getting everything they want here.
They went into that fight without the Glorious Pathway and without one Revitalize. Kid X has used it before that fight even begun, and still, he was really unable to find a moment right there. He was in that fight without a flicker, and look at this Kid X. Wow, the pressure here, man.
I wonder what's the purpose of that Glorious Pathway, or is it just like trying to scare them away? Maybe just gives a little bit of room for Benny in the bottom lane, but anyways, we're gonna back into the game. About 2k gold lead for Falcon Esports, Arashi. Back to the question earlier, like, if it's gonna be like equal gold, or like equal situation in terms of turrets and all in the late game, who do you think is gonna be favored here?
Well, in theory, the Granger can get more stacks the longer this game goes, and a late game joy with items, we've seen the insane damage potential that hero has. So in theory, I think it could be EVO's Holy, because Falcon Esports, they're just relying on the beefiness of their front line to really get an edge in a lot of these early game team fights. How they plan on doing it later, we'll see. Implosion!
Royal Milk getting dove on again, still has to revitalize and the Wrath of the Giant. Oh, Airline misses on the ultimate. That's another there. Beautiful Ogi Shadow kill on towards 1 and 2. 2 kills secured for Dax. What a play.
Dax, what a monster. What was that? He got one, got out, got back in for another one. Make it a combo, man. Falcon Esports is laying in the pressure there. Even EVO's Holy, after the fight, when they're trying to recover, go back into the jungle and at least maintain a defensive line, an area of safety. Falcon Esports is not allowing that. Like what you said earlier, Shevin, even the random Glorious Pathway, it just serves to be an extra layer of threat. So EVO's Holy doesn't really know when exactly is Falcon Esports trying to actually go for a fight or when they're actually just exerting dominance. And now look at the control they have over the Lord. There's no way for EVO's Holy to approach this without risking getting engaged on.
Reggie so far, not gonna lie, has been doing a decent job trying to get in, but it's a Belleric and also a Hylos. There's absolutely nothing you can do to kind of bypass this Great Wall of Myanmar. And man, oh man, what's gonna be the solution here? Albert is just gonna try to divert the intention to the bottom lane, and that's, I guess, a way that you can do with Joy's escape potential, but how long can you do it?
I think he's just trying to make sure that he at least stays on curve. It's a Holy Crystal completed by Albert as well. So damage is absolutely there, but can he actually get the members of Falcon Esports to stand still in the electrifying beats? Especially with the maneuverability of the Harith and the Valentina, especially with the Purifier. Albert though, whoa!
Albert is a target here, still has dash. Oh, Airline! Proc the, I believe, Sky Piercer there and gets the kill on towards Kid X. Finally, EVO's Holy is getting a kill.
Bit of an overextension for sure right there. He didn't even use the Revitalize, but Royal Milk now, same fate.
Okay, a lot of turret damage there. Beautiful one coming in from Reggie there, knowing that he's already been damaged and the turret aggro is there. Dax, oh, key! Oh, gotta watch out there, Dax. Read that one perfectly.
Relax, man. Wow, Dax, dude. He just has so much foresight there and the mechanics to back it up. The Falcon Esports sacrificing two of their frontliners, Royal Milk in particular, his life for the turret. I mean, technically it's worth it, but I don't know. I feel like there's no real need for that to happen, right? If they play the same way they've been playing right here, denying EVO's Holy their options, I feel like eventually with the next Lord, with the next rotation, they really could have gotten that turret without giving up a kill, technically. So, we'll see. Right now, it's back to the waiting game. Falcon Esports, again, to get full advantage, full value from this Bellaric, they're waiting for the neutral objective to spawn first before trying to do anything. If they just send the Bellaric running forwards into a Granger, into a Vexana, that's just not the way it's supposed to go. So they're playing it chill when they need to.
Just take your time and knows the limit of what you can tank is probably the game for Falcon Esports frontliner. As Reggie being the frontliner for EVO's Holy, knowing that Key is the prime initiator here. But so far, no good implosions at all from Key. We gotta wait a bit for Emilio Momento to get his moments when it arrives. But speaking of momentum, Arashi, do you think Albert has a good target here in the back line?
Albert, I don't think he has any real good backline targets. That's the whole idea, right? The whole comp from Falcon Esports are going to move forward together, even the mid lane and the gold lane. So he doesn't really have a good way of going in. His best bet is to wait for someone to get isolated or to wait until the initial big fight is over and then come in for cleanup. That might be the only angle that Albert has. Whereas for Dax, he can just threaten with a shadow kill and there's no real way of EVO's Holy to stop him. And to make things worse, Dax is the only real good target that Key can look for, but it's just so difficult when you have a telegraph engage like the Tiger.
Could have went for it. Oh, finally went for it.
Whoa!
Look at that. Oh, Dax, a mistake! But the CC is not enough to kind of kill him. Key, though, taking a lot of damage, getting killed by Falcon Esports. What an escape coming in from Dax. Did he buy a... I don't think he bought a top boots either. There was a clown shoes that he bought, so not much of a CC reduction, but he got out anyway. Albert, though, trying to find some avenue to go in against the frontliner of Falcon Esports. One more hit to the Lord, and Dax secures that one. Looks like BX7 is going to go down, though. Dax going to jump in, didn't find the target at all, and finally secures a kill. It's Benny with his minus force, but meanwhile, Albert with the electrifying beats, getting one, getting two. That's a triple for Airline, and also Albert cleans it up. What a wipeout from EVO's Holy.
We talked about it, man. What can Albert do in the situation? Is he gonna dive to the backline? No, he's gonna wait until the fight is initially over and delete everyone. The decision-making of this kid, this is why people say he's one of the more experienced players. What was that, dude? A full wipeout, despite the dominance that Falcon Esports had the whole time. EVO's Holy found a way to just get the fight that swung in their favor.
And now it's EVO's Holy's game, just a bit of goal advantage here as we're taking a look at the replay though, Rashi.
It was PX7 trying to zone everyone away with the IMU implosion, but afterwards, once he was down, there was no need for them to continue with this fight. Erlan did a great job kiting back away from it, and so did Albert. With all of the damage, all of the crowd control used up onto the frontliners, this is exactly the ideal scenario for Depazet, for Albert, for Erlan to move forward together and finally get a window of aggression.
Okay, Benny bought the Divine Glimpse of more power spike towards the front liner of EVO's Holy. And I like the item there from PX7, knowing that it's going to be in the front line a lot of times when you use the IMU towards the implosion. He bought a Winter Crown, Rashi.
Well, it's a good outplay potential as well with so many big burst skills available for EVO's Holy. If he's targeted by Albert, for instance, the Winter Crown will just deny the whole electrifying beats. So it's moments like that, you know, that he can kind of outplay later on. Looking at the gold laners though, Erlan, relatively quiet, but with that swing of events, 5 and 1. I believe he got 3 kills in that fight. That's stacks on that Sky Piercer, dude, and he is full items already, even with the Wind of Nature. So now, Dax, talking about the difference between the Joy and the Hayabusa, not really as effective anymore, but look at this.
And he goes in with the Summon Force. Oh, Implosion by Key on towards 3, and the drag back is really, really good. Royal Milk though, with it right off the diet, didn't get anyone. And that's gonna be it. No casualties after a really good engage coming in from Key, but they're not done just yet. Though Reggie still want to chase.
Whoa.
Key can still play, but Dax in the back line, trying to get Airline, but still has the Wind of Nature. Dax, though, in a precarious situation, was able to get away with the Quad Shadow.
That was an insane play by Dax, going in all the way in the back, trying to do a mission impossible. He was denied though. What's important to realize, Shevin, in the previous fight, it seemed kind of equal, but Falcon Esports were forced to use all 4, both Purifies, both Revitalizers, whereas for EVO's Holy, it was only 2 Flickers. So technically, when it comes to that playmaking from the battle spells, EVO's Holy has shown that they have an advantage at this point. I think now for Falcon Esports, it really has to hinge on this moment with the Lord, but now, with no Purifies, with no Revitalizers, can they really get a decisive fight?
It's hard. It's already hard for Benny in the first place so far. He's been very inactive compared to Erlan in a team fight and damage potential. Meanwhile, though, he's gonna get stunned, but just taking a bit of damage, 2/3 of his HP. He's still gonna be able to walk away, try to regroup again, and wait for the team fight in the Lord.
Not a lot of poking available for Falcon Esports at all. They're just forced to walk forward, and Royal Milk is now feeling the damage coming in from Erlan, man. But they still have enough sustain to at least be around the area. But the wave on the top side is pushing in favor of EVO's Holy. So Falcon, they gotta make their mind kind of plan ahead right here.
Okay, Kid X pulls the trigger. Loris Pathway looking for someone there, but no options at all. Key might want to turn the tables around with a concealed play. As the... doesn't have the flicker just yet. Breath of Dryad connects on towards Reggie. Not really the greatest target. That Implosion on towards a good target there. Key getting away with an HP. Implosion as well with the IMU towards Albert. But Albert's gonna be able to get a kill instead. Dax though with the Quad Shadow and a Yogi Shadow kill. Getting one might be two Albert. In a really low HP situation, but Erlan, another triple secured by EVO's Holy.
Way too close for comfort, man. Falcon Esports, with all of their battle spells up, they went for that fight. But the fight was dragged so far away from the ideal spot by EVO's Holy. They cut it back long enough so that the Zaman Force, the Glorious Pathway, all expired. All were out of the picture, and then they went back in. And Albert bought so much time right there, doing so much damage, but he's lost his Immortal. Dax was able to actually get the kill and expire some of the Immortals from EVO's Holy in that previous engagement. But now, they're gonna be forced to defend against a Lord with one base turret down and without a lot of high ground and long range.
This is Key's game from now on. Gotta watch out for the Purify, and the frontliners of Falcon Esports is kind of rendered a bit more vulnerable at this point because Erlan is having a lot of kills right now with the stacks, with the penetration as well. So before the teamfight even begins, Falcon Esports, they're already at kind of a disadvantage, Rashi.
Yeah, the composition doesn't really lend itself to a moment like this. So either they make a big play and try and win a fight with the Lord ignored, or they just use everything to try and clear the Lord and maybe risk EVO's Holy engaging and forcing them into a fight where they have resources down.
Key concealed just now, didn't really get anyone, but Lord's gonna get cleared by Falcon Esports. Key though still has the flicker and the implosion. Gotta watch out for that Falcon Esports. Lane in the mid lane will be there to crash in the mid lane turret. Benny though very, very aggressive towards Erlan! One more build in Benny! What a play! What is the man force? But the implosion connects on towards 2. Wrath of the Dryad connects on towards 3 though. Falcon Esports a chance to strike back. Dax and PX7 is still alive. Dax goes back in! Albert with the Ogi Shadow kill. Beautiful flicker by Tempest. What a play! What an evasion! And he escapes with 1 HP. Dax still wants to go for that one. What just happened? Tempest sliding away out of the team fights better than sliding in DMs.
Man, EVO's Holy, how did they do it? Always on such low HP, but Albert with the concentrated energy, has healed back up to full. He wants to make a decisive play right here. 3v2, can they do it?
I don't think they can. PX7 stole the Chona Skull, getting one. Oh! Look at the creativity of PX7. So aggressive.
DePezet a bit too forward with that one. Pays the price for it. Gets blasted. And now at FCON Esports, they found a window right there. After that fight, you know, they still are hanging on to their middle base turret. And the big benefit for them is they were able to take Erlan out. So the stacks on that Skypiercer has gone down quite significantly. And Benny has just gone for a Wishing Lantern. He wants more max HP damage to melt through the frontliners.
And Benny, that was so ballsy, but at the end it paid off because Erlan was the prime target. But it was technically, after the kill, was a 4v5, right, Arashi, for FCON Esports. So how did EVO's Holy got the better of them?
I think they took a lot of damage initially by DePezet's passive, the Vexana passive. You stand too close to your teammates, you know, you're trying to be loyal to your boys, but when you stand too close, they blow up when they get taken out. It's definitely a lot of extra damage that FCON Esports weren't thinking about. But now, they're only concerned about the waves. They want to try and rush this, I believe. Make it a 50-50. Try and use Dax's consistency as a weapon right here. Maybe force EVO's Holy to be the ones to actually use some of their skills in advance.
He already have a good position there, Benny. Getting a good chunk of damage. And Royal Milk, look at that. He's like getting chunked up. The damage from Erlan, from DePezet. This is getting a bit scary for FCON Esports right now. EVO's Holy so far looks like they have the better time to set this one up.
The wave on the top side as well, it's looking even, but it's an empowered wave due to the base turret being gone for FCON Esports. So it's only a matter of time before it stacks up even more, and it can end the game, man. It's gonna be a combination of 3 or 4 waves pushing for EVO's Holy. Someone eventually will be needed to be sent up there. That could be the window that EVO's Holy is waiting for. And he showed himself.
Albert and Dax, the two retry holders, but Albert, does he want to blitz this one? No, still has a lot of HP, still lowered. And Dax got to watch out for the retry, man. We said this earlier, 50-50s, he is so good at that, but this is Albert we're talking about on the Joy. Key pops the conceal, trying to find something.
Oh.
Fist crack on towards Dax. That's a good one from Reggie, though. Meanwhile, Royal Milk gonna get bursted down by Erlan. Now it's a 4v5. Really bad position from FCON Esports. Dax looking for a position to catch Erlan off guard.
Now there's nothing to stop EVO's Holy from diving in the backline. No Wrath of the Dryad for 45. Oh, Dax!
He pulls the trigger on towards Erlan, has the Wind of Nature, and also Item Swap towards Immortality. Dax gonna get taken down, and also Benny. That should be it. Only 2 guys from FCON Esports is alive as Albert trying to chase PX7 with the electrifying beats. Look at the camera below. Kid X getting caught up in a bad position in the bottom lane, and that is it. Kid X can really hold on for a lot of damage here, but the Immortality, but what can you do at the situation? It's already over. EVO's Holy out of nowhere with a comeback. An improbable one by the Tigers.
They went for a decisive fight. They clumped up together to try and find that one moment, but EVO's Holy punished them for it instead.